awesome. Now, unless you are a paper TMPer, at this point in TMP, that is about 7 years in, you should probably know I am most often found in the states of Idaho, Utah, Arizona, occasionally, and sometimes Nevada. If you've watched a project, you probably know that. I know you're wondering, what do you mean by paper TMPer? Well, this is a dude I run into, and he's awesome, real nice guy. Seems like he's a huge fan of TMP, but when we start talking, I can tell he really doesn't watch the videos. That's what I mean. Paper TMPer. Nice guy, but he's not hardcore. He's not like you guys, right? And when I meet you guys, and this is why I'm giving you this intro, you may be surprised that I'm outside those 4 states. So don't think you're safe. You might be, I don't know, Pennsylvania. And you're in a restaurant. And lo and behold, you turn around and you see me. And guess what? I'm going to gear check you. Like you've seen here in the project, and man, it is almost always hilarious because out come the excuses. Oh, dude, I meant to have this. I just posted one of a dude doing that. He failed miserably. Great guy. And yes, he was watching the videos. Not a paper TMPer, from what I could gather. And almost always when I go through your gear, and this is where I'm going with this, you disappoint me. That's right. Knives, multi-tools are absent, guns are absent, where it's legal, and usually this, EDC light. Here's 2 of my favorites. Previously reviewed, highly recommended in the Nutnfancy project, and yes, this will be another pin light review. This is a Streamlight ProTac 2 AAA, and man, is this a great light. I carry these all the time. Can you tell? And then the also standard setting, probably still the best pin light in the world, the 4.7's Preon P2 now it's called. Great light. I carry these lights all the time. They're so easy to integrate. Here comes another one that I think is worthy of your consideration. And by the way, let me say this right here. There's probably 100 others that I'm missing. I'm so busy and interested in other gear items, I really don't go out and search the flashlight world like I did 4 years ago. Back then, I was a flashaholic. No longer am I a flashaholic. There you go. Total admission. Why? Because the lights I've reviewed are already so great. You know, unless the performance or the value equation blows these out of the water, I'm not really interested. I'm not going to say this light meets those standards. Haven't done a whip for a while. The Nextorch K3 is what the name of this light is. But I think it's worthy of your consideration because I like competition, you know, to these. And in the flashlight world, there's tons. A lot of competition. I mean, it's mind-blowing because the market is actually pretty saturated. Let me show you what this light looks like as it comes in the box. It's rather cool. Pretty cool. It's got a really awesome way to actuate it and test it. Oh, I want to buy that light in the store. The reason I love this light is because the value of what you're getting, and it has some features that these others don't, which I love. Let's get into it. First, size, and we got to do a little review here because these are standards again in TMP. I have met a lot of TMPers who have this light or the MicroStream. Man, I don't even know how many I've sold for Streamlight on this light, the ProTac AAA and its predecessor. They're just great lights. This is not super light, comparatively speaking, 2 ounces. Kind of a bigger head on it. And the Preon P2 is only 1.6 ounces, standard setting still. And this one is right there at 1.8 ounces. All super light. Now, as we progress down this video, and I would really like it to be short, don't expect me, like I used to do, speaking of once upon a time, of me just totally getting in the details. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to give you a broad stroke of what I like about the light, what I don't like about it, and you make the decision. If you want more details and the nitty-gritty stuff, which I actually used to do, go elsewhere. There's all types of websites. You can go check that out. So, weight is awesome. The form factor is awesome. It is, as you can see, longer than the P2 by 4.7s. You might like that though. That makes it kind of like a writing instrument. Not that you'd write with it, but easy to handle. I find all three of these to be excellent. It is water resistant. It's IPX4 standards. You can look that up if you're interested. Matte finish, high quality materials all the way around. And this is standard nowadays. I mean, we are, what, 6 years into these high quality lighting products. It's not like when I first started doing them. I mean, if you don't meet like, you know, military anodizing, which you can see sooner or later is going to wear off if you're using your light. High quality glass, mineral glass on there. Forget it. You're not even competitive in the market. I did not specifically water test this, but I have no doubt it would pass. So I didn't put it in the Nutnfancy water barrel because, I don't know, it's like 10 degrees outside here in Idaho. Yeah, it's cold, dude. Ergos are excellent. Excellent. How about that button? Does that bother you? It's not a rubber button. No, it doesn't at all. I mean, the normal button on a P2 is metal, right? This, by the way, is, I think, from a microstream. So it makes it so you don't actuate the P2 so readily. P2. I always call them a Preon too, but I'll go with the new nomenclature, the P2. Very thin in hand, just awesome. How about the clip? You know, a light, especially a pin light like this, can be made or broken by the clip. The clip I will give 7 out of 10. It carries deep. I love that. It is removable. The way you do it is slide the stainless steel lock down. You'll splay it out. It's not super easy. You kind of got to, you know, I removed it so I could put more tension on it, by the way, because it wasn't, I don't know, providing enough of that. It's great now. Listen. Holds a pocket. Removable. It's cool. I wish it was blackened. No worries. I really love the Preon 2 clip because you can just easily remove it, although you have to take the O-ring off. It does carry deep as well. Probably the worst clip on the table, I shouldn't say worst, because I use this light all the time, is the ProTac clip. Because it will pop off every so often, and there's a lot of light exposed, which can flip it out of your pocket. We're talking ergos. The clip is a big part of that. How about brightness, throw, and beam on these lights? Well, mainly we're talking the Nextorch K3. Well, it's orange peel reflector, as you can see. It's a CREE R5 light. If you want to know the specifics, look it up. They say, laughingly, this will throw out to 56 meters. Huh. I've always said in my flashlight reviews, you can pretty much half of what the manufacturer says for throw. So why don't we call it about 25 meters, realistically, and that's full blast, dude. One thing I really love about this light is its beam pattern. Let's turn these show lights off in the show studio. Look at how sweet that beam is. And by the way, the camera is capturing that. That's how it looks in real life. It's just a really clean, diffused beam pattern. Let's compare it against the Preon, which, by the way, always turns on and low. Soft tap it to high. Preon is brighter. I can't tell you what the state of the cells are, though, but I think they're probably pretty similar. Let me see what mode I have this sucker in. Oh, there we go. Now they're comparable. I didn't have it in, like, max blast. So you can see that the Preon has a little bit better hot spots. I'm not going to roll any other screen footage in. It's just this. Okay, so that's high. And by the way, I might as well go over this now. 180 lumens, 26-minute burn time. That's from the manufacturer. 70 lumens, 160 minutes. 25 lumens at 38 hours. All manufacturer specifications. I did not test them. You may or may not be able to find someone who did, but do you really care? All you really need to know is that whatever the manufacturer says, half it. Maybe not the 26 minutes, but you know, if it gets cold, you're in 40-degree temperature with your K3, you're going to lose a lot of runtime unless you're running lithium batteries in it. By way of reference, the older style P2 is 160 lumens, so on paper it's less, but I think newer versions of the, you know, the LEDs that David's using, are going to be brighter. Preon still sets standards of brightness, utility, UI, all that stuff. And it goes down all the way to 2 lumens, which as a backpacker I really love, like that. That's super helpful. Let me see, we'll compare the lowest mode here. So 2 lumens on the left, that's a P2, and then we've got the freaking K3 on the right. But look at that beam. I really love that beam. It's just clean. There are a couple halos in it, but do you really care? No. It's a better area light in some ways than the Preon, although I still love to throw the Preon. Let's roll the ProTac in here. That's high, of course. Bring it to low. There's low. A little bit of oscillation in the screen image here. The ProTac actually has a much more defined hotspot on it. It's actually a better thrower than both the Preon and the K3 in terms of just the beam pattern, not the power, because let me look at here. It's 80 lumens on its highest mode. I'm talking ProTac 2 AAA, 10 lumens, 30 hours. Love the beam on the K3 though. It's just really super clean, super useful. I didn't speak about this. I will. You saw it already. It does have some other modes on it. Basically, there's high, low, and strobe. Do you use strobe, Nutnfancy? Well, if you have been watching the Nutnfancy project, you know I love the strobe mode when I'm backpacking because I'll clip the light on a tent or a steel target when I'm out in the desert, and it becomes very disorienting out there, and it's a great way to locate it. So the answer is yes, I do use it. Do you think it has any defensive capability? No, I've said that forever. In those old school Nutnfancy flashlight reviews. There you go, that's your modes. And it actually has, and this is what I really love about the K3, mode memorization. So if you keep it in the mode for 5 seconds, you turn it back on, it'll memorize the mode, supposedly. In my use, it did do that. Preon, by way of reference, will always come on and load, then you have to soft tap to what you want. Is it a huge deal? No, not really. But I do like mode memorization better. Makes more sense. By the way, the ProTac 2 AAA has that. How about philosophy of use versatility? Really quickly. Hospital medical light. So if you're a medical professional, this would be another great use of light, just like I said with these two as well. Everyday carry, this is a light that would impress me if I gear check you in Pennsylvania when you least expect it. It's probably going to be in a Dunkin' Donut shop. Nothing, what are you doing here? Giving you a gear check, dude. That's what I'm doing. Backpacking light, yes, it's only 1.8 ounces. It would be an outstanding backpack light, although these days I like a headlamp with more burn time than this, especially if I'm winter camping or it's getting cold, because these little AAA lights are going to wear out on you. By the way, here's how you're going to replace the light, or the batteries, not the light. These are just alkalins, I guess it came with it. Yep. Your O-ring, unanodized threading on that. And then the tail cap is not removable. It is epoxy, so don't expect that to work for you if that's what you're going to do. You might just break your light. Again, I don't mind the button. And by the way, I'm so glad to remember this. It is actually pretty resistant to accidental turn on. That was kind of an issue with the Preon. Still is, last time I checked. I have talked to David Chow about that. Like, dude, you need to like strengthen that button. No, it's not happening, so we're just modding them ourselves. Just put a heavier duty rubber button on it, which gives it more resistance, or a twist UI on it. User interface. Gift item, yes. Because the cost is only about 35 bucks, upper right is where I recommend to go get them. Subject to change. Great gift item. Fishing light. Great option for this, man. Nextorch K3. And then mechanical work. If you have an awesome mechanic, you want to make the dude break down in tears, give him a light like this. Go spend the 35 bucks for Christmas, whatever. Say, dude, thank you for all the great work. Here's your Nextorch K3. Enjoy. Chances are he's never seen such a high quality light. Most people don't know this quality exists. He'll break down and cry. Track record. From what I've seen so far, so good. I don't have a crystal ball on the Nextorch. I mean, you might have some issues, but just send it back to the manufacturer. They'll probably hook you up. Hook you up. It's totally worth it. $35. The Preons run around 50 bucks. The ProTac did go up in price. It's running about, for the 2 AAA version, which is my preferred version since it's slimmer, lighter, easier to carry. That's running around 35 bucks. But this is another great pen light, and man, am I happy to find these for you and bring them to you. Complete. See ya.